All right, hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 9. Do they know it's Blitzmas? It is me, Ian, and of course, as always, Alan, Radio Reflex, here. Almost the end of the year, Alan. It's amazing how... I would say it's amazing how fast this year's gone, but I'd be lying. This year has dragged.
Well, I feel like this,
quite considerably.
This is probably going to be like a bit of a... I suppose a recap episode. It's been well, yeah. I suppose it's probably be one of our last ones for the year. Probably one of the last casts of the year because I know your work doesn't break.
Yeah, we may do one next week just purely because we do have a couple of big events this coming weekend that would be quite good to talk about next week. But yeah, I mean, this probably is the second to last one for the year, I would imagine.
Yeah, most like, well, I mean, hopefully with any chance we can do something in the holidays, depending on your schedule, because I am off for a while. But of course, the coffee business never ends, does it, Ian?
No. It's ongoing.
Very weary eyes. Coffee business never ends.
The last week hasn't been great, but yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, no, let's not go into it. But yeah, it's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks. Yeah, if anybody's watching, yeah, me and Ian are we're a little bit at low ends at the moment. If you're in New Zealand, if you're in Auckland today, you understand just like it's heat just beating down. It's just like not that we don't have air conditioning and all this, but it's just a hell of a day in Auckland. And I suppose just you're getting to that point. The studio LSS is our final day for the year is tomorrow. Not that we won't, not that we'll still probably end up working, through the holidays and doing stuff. I know I've got to set my out of office notice to say, I won't be checking emails as thoroughly, but we will be, checking all the time. I expect to do at least 3 or 4 hours a day. There's various projects to catch up on, things like that. Yeah, it's an interesting time.
Alrighty, so what?
I'm a little lost today. I'm a little lost.
That's right. So for good housekeeping, what have we got? We've got, of course, coming up this weekend, we have Felice Flesh and Blood at Hobby Master on Saturday, which 2 events. In the morning there is a Blitz event, and in the afternoon Team Sealed, which we are looking forward to. Of course, Radio Reflex will have a team in that. I'm not sure we can give away who our third member is going to be just yet, because I haven't got 100% commitment out of him yet. But it should be quite good. It should be quite good.
I see Dexter was looking for. I'm not sure if Dexter was looking for two friends or one friend. I'm not sure if he's got a teammate or not. So. But yeah, we'll I'm going to leave it to you, Ian, on the teammate side. But it'll be a cool event this Saturday. Is it a 1 p.m. start?
2 p.m. So I believe, I'm not sure. I think maybe 11 for the Blitz and 2 for the Team Sealed, I believe. That sounds roughly about right. And maybe a little bit earlier for the Blitz morning, just to make sure that it is done and dusted before the event, the Team Sealed kicks off. And Team Sealed's really interesting. I think we've talked about it before, but yeah, so it's 18 packs between 3 players, and it's 8 packs of Wraith, 8 packs of Arc, and 8 packs of Crucible. So that's going to be pretty exciting, pretty interesting to see what you can come up with as a team to make 3 decks, because you don't split it between the 3. You basically just open it and you have one big pile to make the 3 best decks that you can. So we are looking forward to that. I mean, I think as Radio Reflex, we're quite lucky because we are open to playing multiple different characters, which so we're not going to really have the argument that some teams may have of who gets the best character, or if everyone wants to play Ira or Katsu or whatever. But yeah, no, it should be interesting.
Yeah. Well, maybe Iain, we could have 3 brute decks. 3 brute decks at the table. Surely we can have a KO, a Reiner.
No, we can only have a KO if we pull KO though. That's the thing. And that is the thing. If you are going to be playing Team Sealed, either at this event or at the calling in the calling weekend in January, you just got to remember that while you do have access to the young heroes of Wraith and Arcane Rising, the young heroes from Crucible can only be played if you pull it in your 8 packs for the team. So you can't just go in thinking you're going to play Ira, because if you don't pull Ira, you can't play Ira. So there is that, which does make it a little more exciting. And I think there is. I almost feel like if you do pull a young hero from your Crucible packs, that at least someone on the team should probably play it. I think that's a fairly good, depending on who it is.
My thought, Iain, is that we will have KO in our pool. It just doesn't make sense.
Really, I thought we were going to pull Shiana. I thought that's what we were going to look for.
All right. Well, that would be super nice. And then
the argument of who gets to keep the Shiana at the end of it.
Rock paper. Well, it has to be. No, we have to have like a UPF face-off, and the winner gets it. Doesn't that make the most sense, Iain?
Yeah, maybe.
That would clearly make some sense. But
either that or you just sell it and split the difference between the team. Possibly.
That might be a good idea too. Since I've got a Shiana, so probably. Well, I mean, I suppose everyone needs a second Shiana. But again,
I don't have the first one, so.
Well, it's going to be exciting. We get a chance to crack again. What is it? 18 packs.
18 packs. So
there's got to be a few goodies in it between there. So if you want to try, because this will be probably, I don't know if anybody else will run team limited before the calling.
I think it's highly unlikely unless we do it as our January event. Just purely because of the access to packs at the moment. I don't know. I'm hoping that Crucible is available, because otherwise, or that they've put Crucible aside for this event. So, because I'm not. I know that Arc dropped today here in Auckland. I know Card Merchant is that I believe they're doing a draft of Arc tonight at Hobby League. So Arc is in stores, which is good. Which brings us to the next event of the weekend, and on Sunday, Card Merchant West City is actually running their 100th Flesh and Blood event. Can you believe it? It's 100 events in just over a year. Well, probably just under a year, considering when they jumped on. So that's pretty impressive. And we just want to give a shout out to obviously Matt and Jacob and the team out at Card Merchant, who have been big supporters of Flesh and Blood, and it's great to see them, hit this 100 mark. And of course, it is a big event. It is the Arc sealed. So it's Arc sealed with a top 8 Arc draft, which is really exciting. Because again, of course, that is the format for. Is it a PTI they're calling the Arc sealed, or is it just an Arc sealed event?
No, it is a PTI. So
it's a PTI. So this is good practice
for the calling PTI event. This is a great place to head up, and also the other thing is the previous Card Merchant sealed Welcome to Wraith Unlimited event was just a lot of fun. So
some of us even made top 8.
Yeah, although I must admit, that actually reminds me of saying they got to their 100th event, because I think I might have been the first person to play Matt Rogers in like a non-IRA game. Because I mean, obviously Matt played IRA and stuff like that, but I remember like when the first hero decks came out, and I sat down. Matt ripped open the Bravo deck, and I think I already had like a Reinhard deck that had been kind of built a bit, and I won the game because I think we just played 20 life and stuff like that, and that was Matt's first game. But I'm just thinking back, I don't remember that probably was the first game Matt had outside of Ira, and look what a monster he's become.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was about to say your paths very much diverged from that fork in the road.
Down that path. To be honest, I don't think I'd be treading no matter what. I'd be treading the path that Matt is currently treading. I'll stick to my own path. But hopefully we're. I don't know about you. I'm definitely there on Saturday. But we'll have to see if I'm there on Sunday. Ian, what's your you planning definitely to be there on Sunday?
Well, I mean, that's going to come down to work for me. I've ended up. Another thing I just give a shout out. If you are looking to sell some alpha cards, Cardbitch just put up a buy list today. So I have moved on a few cards to help pay for some expenses. So maybe I will be. It'll just depend on what time I finish work on the Sunday, on whether or not I can make it over in time for the kickoff. I believe the kickoff is at 12 again. So we'll see what happens. I would like to go because again, it is really good, really good practice for the calling weekend in January. And of course, I really enjoy Arc Sealed, and it and due to COVID, we were really robbed of the Arc Sealed / draft season. I know there was the underground North Shore. Boardroom drafts that went on through the end of COVID that got in a fair amount of arc drafting. Unfortunately, I think I only got to one or maybe two of those. So I'm a bit behind. But like as you can see with my hat today, I was inspired to put my thinking cap on and do something that you didn't do, that you said you were going to do. And I actually sat down and made a data doll deck today. So I don't know, maybe I'll take that out to Blitz on Saturday and see how we go. Or maybe I'll take it out on Friday to Cardbitch and then give it a run there before Saturday's event and see how that runs. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
With the holidays coming up, I definitely want to spend a bit of time because one, my collection needs a lot of ordering because stuff is everywhere. And not only do I have a big fab collection, I also have a very large MTG collection. And you can't have one collection in chaos and the other one perfect. You need to get both of them. Cards are cards. So
I mean,
definitely some work over holidays. But I do want to build up. I had an idea of building up. I need to build up some more Blitz decks just for testing and mucking around with.
Cool.
But also maybe I had the idea because I still want my decks to be kind of UPF focused. Is what I was going to think about doing is having like a folder that had like just UPF cards in, so like I could easily change my Blitz decks. Just basically go, all right, so I'll take these couple of cards out, sub these cards in, and kind of have effectively like a sideboard. So I can take my Blitz decks, and because I don't want to have Blitz decks and then Blitz UPF decks. It's too many sleeves, too much organization. So I think that's the idea because I still want to be able to sit down and have some games, and flick out a Gregorian Tome and all those kind of cards. Definitely that's a project for the holidays.
No, I guess that's a nice segue into let's talk about the Radio Reflex UPF event that happened on the weekend. It was a good time. How many players do we have? It was 25 plus, was it?
We had 25 players. Now I was hoping to actually put up some photos, and I've got the photos, but for some reason my OneDrive is either not showing half of them or they are in shoddy quality, which I don't understand because they're obviously high res. So I will, when I get this sorted out, put up all the photos from the UPF event on our Facebook page. but yeah, it was a great day. Yeah, 25. So basically, I don't know if you've been to Shuffle and Cut, it's like a long, narrow store. So we had to push tables together because one of the things, as I said previously, is we want to kind of like 4-man tables. But like after talking to some people, what we decided is like 5-man table.
5 is actually optimal, because the problem with 4-man is that it gets down to being just 3 people very quickly, and then it's actually not nearly as fun as having. I think 5 is actually the optimal number for UPF.
Yeah, I think so too, and just like simple reasons, like you mentioned, like because you don't want the game to end too quickly, and it's too easy to get 4. I mean, 4 players isn't bad, but it's too easy to get people knocked out. And also, one of the things is simply you want to be able to politic with 2 people that aren't able to attack you, but they are able to attack people beside you. It just increases the interest in the game. So you need to have a little bit more of that politics. So that's one of the things, because if you don't have that group of people, so I mean maybe we should even try 6-player at some point, but I think 5 seems to be the sweet spot.
I wouldn't do 6-player at Shuffle and Cut though. we wouldn't have room for it.
That's true. Somebody did suggest that we should do a giant mega table, if you had a mega table, you have to do what they call turn markers. So you'd have to have independent turns going, but I don't know. I've always felt like those games feel like, you spend too much time waiting rather than playing.
Yeah, and also with the Blitz format, you're just going to run out of cards as well. That's going to be the problem.
Maybe we could do it just someday for like kind of shits and giggles. Maybe to have the largest UPF table ever. I mean, that could be a goal, but otherwise, we'll stick to. I don't know if anybody out there has any experience or done some UPF at home. Let us know what the largest table size. Because I mean, if you're at a store and somebody rocks up and you've got your 5 people, somebody else rocks up, you don't want to turn somebody away from a game if you can.
Yeah, I think you can get to 6. I think anything over 6 is going to start to drag a bit. Like there's going to be a lot of time sitting around doing nothing. But yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what people think and how big a group you've managed to get together for a UPF game.
So we got the event going. I'd like to just start off with a couple of thank yous. First thank you, of course, is to our special guest of the event, Sam Iain. Sam came down. He was really looking forward to it because we gave him his Teklo Foundry heart, so he could play with it finally. Well, he didn't actually play with it, but he will be able to play.
I think you overestimated the fact that I don't think he's actually got a dash deck put together. I think we should probably reach out to him and sort of help him build the deck as well, because he was actually just playing with a Benji deck that was put together by the one of the guest decks from Blitzthon.
It is a deck. One of the things is it was a Blitz deck designed by Jason, one of the developers. So those decks,
but it was not designed for UPF.
No, it wasn't designed for UPF. But so Sam came with Benji, and basically he signed cards whenever we had a bunch of dash posters. And he signed dash posters for everybody. It was just really cool. Everybody went away with something. We had some cracked baubles. So at a minimum, it seems like everyone got a poster and a cracked bauble signed. Sam was really enjoying it. And Sam does a fantastic signature. Gold, black, shadowed signature. It's really cool. It's just really cool to have Sam on board. Everyone was really appreciative. And but one of the things that he said is he really enjoyed it because he's still getting he's still getting the hang of a game. And one of the things he really appreciated was being on a multiplayer table actually makes it a lot easier to kind of, get the hang of the game and get advice and stuff.
Well, exactly. And I was sat next to him for a table, so I helped him out, and I think a lot of people helped him out throughout the day. And that's a really good thing. So that's another really great thing about UPF is that it's actually really good for new players if there's if there's a bunch of new and veteran players, you can really sit down and help someone without, like, the problem being in one-on-one games with a new person versus a veteran, they can only help so much without giving the game away. Whereas actually in UPF, you can give a lot more help than you can in one-on-one games, which is really good.
And also, part of the game is not just the actual playing of the game; it's like the threat assessment and the politics and the shit talking and the stab that bug guy in the back. You want to stab him, don't stab me, that kind of stuff. If you're teaching people how to play, think about sitting down, even if you don't have proper decks to sit down. Think about sit down and play some multiplayer. Grab a few people, get together. I think it's a really great way of just really casually teaching people and getting it in, and the more the merrier, basically.
Yeah.
Now my second thanks, actually I've got three thanks, really. The second thanks actually goes to, I suppose he's one of our biggest fans. Definitely one of our, definitely big, and definitely a big supporter. Thanks to Nick Butcher over in Sydney. I promised Nick a booster box because he did some casting for Dice Jar Games in their event. So I promised, we'd help him out, and just as a thank you. But little did I know, Nick was basically turned around and said, "Cool, you use a booster box for the event." So what it allowed us to do is put up a whole booster box of Welcome to Rafe Unlimited for people to use their Go Bananas. And if they didn't get to play Go Bananas, they got extra boosters at the end. Thank you for Nick to giving out. I made sure we sent over some cool stuff signed by Sam just to say thank you. But thank you, Nick. Boosters went into players' hands. It's just super appreciated that you thought of us.
I won a table calling Nimblism with one of my Go Bananas, so that was pretty. Pretty happy about that.
Really, that was Nick's win. Basically, you dedicated to win to Nick. But we try and give as much stuff to the community, so it's just really special when somebody gives us something to give to the community. Because we had some decent pride, but it just really helps. So it makes me a little emotional. But thank you very much, Nick. Wish he could have been there. And the final person to thank is the team at Shuffle and Cut for Joe. Joe's been a friend for many years. So thank you for putting out. Joe also put on pizza for all the players as well, and he actually put an extra booster box free of charge into the pool for Go Bananas. So that was
very cool.
Appreciated. How many times did you call Go Bananas?
Twice.
Only twice. All right. Did you hit first time, both of them, or?
No, I whiffed in the first game.
Yeah.
And then got it in the second.
I think triple nimblism is your special. It's special to you, Iain. Definitely special. So we all jumped in because we played 3 rounds, cutting to like a final table. I didn't get in on the first round. Just I had my daughter with me until she got picked up, and just wanted to get the tournament, all going and stuff like that, because it's a bit of an experiment. So I didn't miss a round, but I played 2 rounds and I was quite happy. I ended up going one. I get 1 kill on my first table and a table win. Unfortunately, the next table, I just we'll get to that. I got a little frozen out thanks to Manu. But over it was good. And of course, I played good old Cavdeen. Cool. Another shout out is we actually had Cavdeen there. I have photos here. It's very frustrating that for some reason I can't get it up. But Lynette Natras, I hope I'm pronouncing his surname right. Lynette Natras from Whangarei, some of the Whangarei players. And she had a sweet Cavdeen costume with gloves. She didn't have a bloody heart, unfortunately, for her costume. She couldn't get a hold of one. But she had a super sweet costume for the event. And, of course, she played Cavdeen as well. And we ended up on the second table right beside each other. But, of course, her Cavdeen deck was very, very different, very aggressive, where mine was sitting back and doing nothing. So, what was your
some of the viewers may recognize Lynette's name. She is the Azalea cosplayer, so she is sort of a head fab cosplayer at the moment.
She is definitely, and I think if I remember, her work is in that kind of costuming industry as well. So not only is it a hobby, it's also a profession for her as well. Yeah, it was super cool. It was super cool having Cavdeen sit down at the table. I love that kind of stuff, so that was super cool. But yeah, how did your free tables go, Van?
Yeah, well, I got targeted on the first table. I got taken out first, which I told the players that leaving the wizard was a bad idea, and of course that came back to bite them.
Was that Wizard Vincent? Was that Wizard Vincent?
It was Vincent and Eddie who had made a pact, and they were not attacking each other. So it was pretty tough. I was getting attacked from. Dude, I'm getting a huge echo from you at the moment. I'm hearing myself coming through your speakers. No, I don't know what's happening there.
I'm just trying to sit back a bit. Is that better?
No, I'm hearing myself coming through your speakers. I don't know what that is.
Maybe. Let me have an idea. Hold on. I cannot fix that.
But anyway, what I was. Oh no, so that's really annoying. So that was the first table I got taken out first off. In the second table, I think I came third, and then in the last table, the table that I managed to hit with Go Bananas, I actually won that table, and that was against Bernard, Saw, and Sam was on the table as well, and a Dorinthia player whose name I forget. Very sorry, I've forgotten your name. But yeah, it was fun, and the Go Bananas worked well. Again, as I was saying, if you know the Welcome to Wraith, there are a few tricks of calling generics that tend to get packed in the same pack, and Nimbleism is one of them. Nimble Strike, yeah. So my first pack of Go Bananas, I called Nimbleism and hit Nimble Strike, which was a little annoying, but yeah, no, it worked out in the end, and so that was good. So I ended up with one table wins, which, as we said, was 1 point for me. How many kills did you end up getting? Because you said you got a table win there, Alan. How many kills did you get?
Can you hear me, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, just turn you down because I've got you super loud. I got 1 table win and 1 kill. The reason for
so that's 2 points.
Yeah. 2 points. Yeah, no, that's not bad for a day. Who knows? Well, I don't know what you said about your tables, but with my tables, the first table I played went totally to plan. Basically, I got to sit there. I gained a lot of life. I drew a bunch of cards. Got to use Cavdeen to muck around the table, and basically waited for a couple of the players to combust. We had a cool moment when we had Georgia and Gerhard, and basically Gerhard was attacking the wizard, and he was on Ira. He enlightened strike, so Georgia decided to go off and try and kill, because so taking 7 for wizard is that's a lot of damage. So she went off, threw out a whole bunch of spells, but unfortunately she left Gerhard on 1. So the enlightened strike resolved, did the damage. Obviously he had a Snapdragon Scalers to give it go again, and then he played a second Enlightened Strike out of his hand, which was of course for 8, which is exactly lethal. So Georgia got taken. That was like the first exchange. So 1 player was dead, and 1 player was left on 1. So so there we had. Sorry, I can't remember who was beside me. He was on Ranger, and I had Lynette on Cavdeen. So the Ranger player just kind of basically hassled everyone else, killed everybody else. He got me. He tried to get me for a very huge attack with like multiple Nimbleisms and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough to finish me off. And I just used my life gain, and my deck ran like Potions of Strength and Crazy Brews. So I think I got to do something like pop 1 Crazy Brew, 2 Potions of Strength, and a Red Slogism. in one turn, and that was enough to get there.
Nice.
Now the big problem I had on the second table is I ran up against I got sandwiched in between Manu on
That's all right.
Windblade and the actual winner of the event, Kenton, on Bravo. So I had two heavy hitters right beside me, but of course Manu was running
like an OTK Viserai, where he's just making big numbers of rune chants.
He is, but most importantly, sorry, he was running. I've forgotten. Is it Reaping Blade?
Oh yeah. The people can't gain life if they're not the lowest person.
Yeah. So essentially,
so turns your ability off.
My opening hand is my first 2, 3, 4 hands were exactly what I would have normally have wanted. Sigils, tomes, lots of life gain, shenanigans, stuff like that. But it all kind of got shut down by Manu effectively, and those guys they did kind of leave me till last.
So was it Bernard that was playing Ranger on your table?
Yes, sorry, Bernard, because it was Gerhard. Sorry, Gerhard. Yeah, thanks, Zex, Marquez. Sorry, you remember this much. Sorry. Yeah, Bernard was a Ranger player. Gerhard was the Ira player on that table, so that's why I'm getting confused. But they kind of left me till towards last because I just wasn't much of a threat, and it's just a few big dominated attacks. But Kenton went on to win that table because kind of Manu ran out of gas. He threw all his big rune chant backed attacks and just never got back to a big number of rune chants, which you just can't. If the Guardian player is hitting you, you're just not going to get time to do that. So Kenton won our table, but it was still a fun table. I wish I'd been on a slightly higher, been able to use some of my life game, but that does it does. We did discuss that Reaping Blade is an important card in the format, and it makes a lot of strategies quite difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I on the table that I played, I was sitting next to Mono, and I was just stuck with sigils that I couldn't use until I was the lowest player, which is a tough one to deal with.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I do find is having Cavdine on the table isn't too bad because it does. If there's a Cavdine player on the table and you do get some coppers, you can actually use kind of dead cards to basically cycle your hand. So you can basically, it costs 4 resources to pop a copper to draw a card, but drawing the card's not the most important thing, but just getting those dead cards out of your hand.
Totally.
Is just really, really important because if you've got 2 sigils in hand, what can you can't block with them.
Yeah, well, exactly. And unless you're playing Azalea and Azaleaing them away, they do just block up the hand, or you have to pitch them, and then they just come back around, which can be annoying in itself as well.
So probably I wish I could have killed Manu, but my deck just doesn't kill people up front. It just waits till everyone else is dead, basically, and hopes you're in a strong position in that. But love my strength for potions now. Not a card I've ever played before.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I did pop a crazy brew and rolled a 5, so I was pretty happy with that. Of course, another one. Actually, I did pretty good. I rolled a 4 and a 5 on my 2 crazy brews that got popped, so no life loss. And you're getting a +2 action points, +2 resources is not to be sniffed at. So I think everyone seemed to enjoy themselves for the day. The final, actually, sorry, I'm just going to mention one kind of cool thing. And one of the things, if I'd had more time this week, I would have reached out to him and tried to get his list, is Vincent Dojo's list. Vincent was playing Wizard. He also made the final table as well. But my favorite story of the day is apparently his deck was a really different Wizard deck. He was actually using not the Crucible of the Aetherweave. He was actually using the Aether Conduit.
Yeah, to do 2 arcane damage.
Yeah.
And basically he was waiting it out and basically looking to do a massive chain lightning to take out multiple people on the table.
So that was a strategy. Defend a lot, chip away with the Aether Conduit because it just needs resources to do damage. And I think was it the I'm not sure. I think it was the second table. It was the second table. Time was called. Basically, everybody on the table was pretty much on one. The brute player, I believe, attacked Vincent. So Vincent was like, "Yep, time to go for it," and he was able. I think it was Ether Spindle and some other shenanigans into a chain lightning, and basically was able to deal 7 damage to 3 players in one go, and basically take out. It wasn't even his turn. I just think it was super cool. And also because Vincent obviously
to be fair, that's their own fault for letting the wizard for not like it's what I told my table. I was like, you in UPF you have to target the wizard first. You have to take him out, and so often people are like, we can deal with him later because he's on low life and stuff like that, and you just can't play that way. Like the threat of arcane damage is super big, and especially what ends up happening is the people that aren't directly left or right of them sometimes will just not play null room because they expect the 2 people that are left and right of them to deal with them. And the problem is if they don't, then all of a sudden you're left there with little to no arcane barrier, and that's when those blowout turns can happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. So the final table, I can't remember everybody that was on the final table. Kenton, Eddie, Vincent were on the table. I can't remember the other 2 players on the table, but it came down to 2 Guardian decks.
Like it was like 3 friends, like I hadn't met them before. So it was Kenton, his friend who was playing Brute, and his friend who was playing Dorinthia, Vincent and Eddie.
Yeah, so the table was 1 Kano, 1 Reiner, 2 Bravo, and 1 Dorinthia. So it was a good spread.
It was really good spread.
Pity none of the like a KO didn't make an appearance and stuff like that. But because one thing is we were a bit busy. We were actually just really busy, so we didn't get a chance to do a proper metagame breakdown from the event. So hopefully next time we'll be a little bit organized.
It was pretty good though. I mean, obviously there's definitely no Shiana. There was no Katsu.
Yeah. I don't know. Was Newsom playing Katsu? Or was he playing Ira?
No, Newsom was playing Ira.
Okay. A lot of Ira, quite a bit of Guardian.
Yeah.
Runeblade was well represented.
Yeah, but we had a Benji player. We had there was multiple KO players, multiple Kavdane players. At least 1 Azalea, if not 2, maybe just 1. Dorinthia, no Kasai, which I find surprising because I actually think Kasai is really good in UPF because she can split her attacks without having to worry about the chain being broken, which some of the other characters. Luke and CJ were the other two. Thanks, Sick. Luke and CJ were the other 2, I believe, on the table, which was cool. Yeah, and that was really good. It was it was really nice to see like a top 5 final table that was sans the big names. Like Kale was in the event, Saw was in the event. Newsom, Chris Gearing was in the event and didn't make the final table. So the curse of being a developer and having that sort of target on your back came out to haunt him. No, it was good. It was good.
I think the thing is over the Christmas holidays I'll work on some of the things. Is that a few things popped up like the pairings and also how to deal with
like we did this we tried to do like the Swiss round things where we tried to put the higher points on the higher table and stuff like that, and what we found is that meant that in the second and third round the tables were very similar, whereas I think if we do it again in Swiss rounds we will do completely random pods for all 3 rounds of Swiss. And then just go off points that way.
Yeah, I think and also it's much easier because we were while the event was logged in Gem, obviously we didn't run the rounds in Gem, so we were doing it in an Excel spreadsheet. So just to speed things up. I think we would suggest either going to 70 minutes or 80 minutes for the round instead of an hour, because we were going to time and we did have a couple of awkward
end of turn things that we had to deal with. So I think just having an extra 10 or 15 minutes would probably save that, and there'd probably be an outcome.
Well, probably the misunderestimate, because like obviously when I first was kind of planning this out and running it in my head, is that I thought we'd have 4-man pods. So I think this, and also when we tested UPF, we did a lot of 4-man pods in 60 minutes.
Yeah. And I think that just adding that extra person in does extend everything out a little bit.
Yeah, not badly. I mean, a lot of tables did finish within time, but I think that would have given people a little bit of chance. Like maybe like the idea behind UPF is each player needs 15 minutes basically. So like like a 5-man pod needs like 75 minutes. But also we wanted to get the event done, and get a final table underway. So yeah.
And so just before we move on, I've got the scoreboard up there. So Alan had a chance to really catch up, and he just didn't take it. Gave him a chance, and he didn't take his opportunity. So with 2 points, Alan got to 12. With 1, I got up to 17. So you've closed the gap by 1. It's now 5 instead of 6. But it really was. I think you missed a chance. And shout out to Eddie who went, and I believe he got 7 kills, is the most kills in the Swiss rounds with his Bravo deck. So well done to Eddie who we gifted the foil massacre to, which is a pretty nice card.
Yeah. So it was cool. Kenton, of course, what we did for the final prizes is I had 5 things set out for the prizes. So we had like a Go Bananas. I had a
Katsu playmat.
Katsu People's Champions playmat. Cold foil potion. What was it? I'm just trying to remember everything.
Go Bananas promo.
Sorry, cold foil. Sorry, not cold foil. Rainbow foil Kano. And of course, we had the foil Gregorian tome. Kenton took the tome. Everyone split up they basically second got first pick, third, etc. Really happy. We had a great day. And
it was good.
I'd like to thank everybody that turned up, and the other people I mentioned, Sam, Nick.
And I think I think the thing that we did prove is that it is viable. You can run a UPF tournament. I think it is doable, and I think it is a lot of fun. And definitely, if your local group has got somewhere between, anywhere between 9 to 15 or 16 players, it's a nice thing to do every once in a while with something a bit different. I mean, it would probably be like a really nice. Like the week after a set comes out would be a really good time to run a UPF event, I think, because that way you can throw together some new decks, but also you have the ability to play Go Bananas with new packs, which is always exciting.
Yeah. So I think basically, there's a good chance we will run a UPF event again in the new year. So as long as people respond like they did this time.
As I said, I think perhaps we look at doing it in March, just after Monarch drops. I think that'd be a cool time to do it.
Yeah.
Because the other thing too is that it's a really good time just after a set drops, because if there's some cards that you're on the fence about putting in your deck, it's like, why not try it out in UPF? You get a feel for it without having to worry about being in a competitive, super competitive atmosphere. So I think that'd be really cool.
All right, so that leaves us with the end of the week, with Christmas coming up. Besides the events this weekend, and obviously me and Iain are definitely down for the teams event. I'm not sure we'll get anything in. I suppose we just need to see which stores are still going to be running. I assume most of them, unless they're actually on a public holiday, will be running their hobby leagues. But actually, I suppose all the stores will actually pretty much be open in Auckland, because everybody will be running their Boxing Day sale. So like,
the only one that might No, that's probably not even going to be until the new year that it affects them. I was about to say the Tuesday night ones might be affected because of the Mondayization of it, but no, it should be fine. The only one that's really affected is Friday nights at Card Merchant. Obviously, next Friday is Christmas, so that won't be happening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh well, who knows? Hopefully I'll have some people around to play some Blitz or UPF.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing that I will offer up is that I've just talked to our mutual friend Regan. He's got some time off, sort of between the Christmas and New Year's period, and wants to get some board gaming and stuff in. And so maybe we'll get you over and we'll get you to play some Gaslands with us, which would be kind of cool. Or he's also just bought the Legend of Korra bending, bending arena game, which looks kind of cool.
Okay. The other thing we might try and do as a plan, but it depends on Ian's schedule. Well, it depends on everyone's schedule. Is where I was thinking about us doing a watch along of like maybe a classic pay-per-view.
Yes. Well, there is that. We definitely could do that. Like, what we could do, is, because of course I've got the Advent box that I haven't been doing recently because of my week has been a little bit topsy-turvy with work stuff. But of course I'm going to make at least one blitz deck out of it, and the way it's looking, I probably can make 2 blitz decks out of it. So possibly, if we do the watch along, if we do it in one place, we could play some blitz and do a watch along. So for the people who want to watch along with the wrestling, they can, and then the others can just watch us play the blitz decks that I've made out of our Advent calendar box.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool.
Do you realize how tormented, how conflicted Kirk will be when he's like, "Oh, I'd love to see Ian and Alan play some, but we're going to talk about wrestling."
I don't think it's Kirk that will be the actual person who's probably going to be the most tormented would be Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, you like legit just be wanting to watch the wrestling, probably.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, there's actually I don't know about you, Ian, but getting on to non-favorite, I'm looking forward to the break. I got Saturday. We've got the team sealed on Saturday night. I'm heading to a double feature at my local cinema, the Hollywood, watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, followed by Black Christmas, the originals.
I was so gutted. I was tomorrow night. I was like, oh my god, I'm totally going to this. So at the beginning of the week, I looked at Village Cinemas website, and they had the British Film Festival, and they're like, Friday night, original Flash Gordon, session times to be posted on Tuesday. I was like, oh sweet! I've never seen the original Flash Gordon on the big screen, and so I was like, that'd be awesome. So I hit up some friends, and we're like, yeah. So once I find out the sessions or book tickets and stuff, and then come Tuesday morning, the only session for the British Film Festival showing of Flash Gordon is in Havelock North. Oh. What? Why even put it on your website?
All right. Well, hey, Havelock North deserves good film as well.
Yeah, but like that could have been on just the Havelock North website. You didn't need to put that on the national website and get other people excited about it. Yeah. So I was gutted.
Well, the other thing I'm hoping to do is if I'm not playing Sunday, hopefully get up and head to the Ginger Crunch Cafe on Sunday. Catch Wenway.
Are they open Sundays?
They are. I've confirmed this with Wenway. Okay. But so in fact, their last day open for the holidays.
Fair enough.
But also, the Hollywood is doing a double feature of Home Alone 1 and 2. So I'm hoping to take B along, at least to Home Alone 1.
I was about to say, yeah, I like. They're both okay movies. I would imagine watching them back to back will show you exactly how samey and recycled this second movie is.
I don't disagree, but I love watching movies with B. Me and B have watched a lot of movies together, and probably some age and appropriate ones. Me and B actually just watched the original of Ju-on, which is also well known in the West by its other title, The Grudge, which is like one of the classic J-horror films. The Ring and The Grudge were like the J-horror films that helped spread the whole genre in the West. Well, I certainly didn't know about the whole J-horror genre before seeing those films. So yeah, GB has watched. She's watched The Matrix, Zombie Flesh Eaters. Yes, a lot of things.
May I suggest you show her something a little bit more age and season appropriate, like the Muppets Christmas Carol, or Die Hard. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we could watch Die Hard.
If you want her running around saying yippee ki for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I suppose actually I'll do a quick little shout out if there's anybody watching from Hamilton. I will be down in Hamilton for Christmas, so with any luck, maybe I can. I don't know about my schedule. I definitely will be stopping in to shop at Gaming DNA, which is the main gaming store in Hamilton. If I get enough time, maybe I'll put up a draft if anyone's interested. I've done it before, but just like a free draft at Gaming DNA. I can't confirm it because I just don't know my schedule. But if any Hamilton players out, keep an eye out on your Hamilton Fab Facebook group, and I'll definitely put it up if I get the time.
Cool. Well, I think that's about us for the evening. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we're going to leave it there. As I said, if you are around Auckland, we've got Felice Flesh and Blood Hobby Master on Saturday, and then of course Arcane Rising sealed with draft for the top 8 on Sunday at Card Merchant West City. I suggest if you've got some time over the weekend, though. Those are 3 really exciting events to get along to. Otherwise, if we don't see you before the holidays, have a safe and happy holidays, and yeah, we'll catch you again soon. And wash your damn hands.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Merry Christmas. We'll see